You're right guys, I'm David Arendekar, and today I wanted to show you how to take off an 80cc engine from your motorised bike. The reason for this being is recently I've been onto bikeberry.com and I've noticed that they do two different frames that I'm very interested in. One being a Skyhawk frame and another one being a BBR tuning frame. So the Skyhawk frame is a little bit dearer in variation compared to the BBR tuning frame. So the Skyhawk frame is around about $200 and the BBR tuning frame is around about $150. So I thought it's a bit of a time for an upgrade now on both of these bikes. So I bought one in black for the BBR tuning and one in white for the BBR tuning. So both of them together cost me around about $300, and then it was another $100 for the shipping, but it's totally worth it. So when it comes to the English pound, it's slightly cheaper as well. So that's a bit of a great benefit. So on today, I'm going to be taking off this engine from the grey bike, and then what I'll be doing is I'll be sanding, polishing and prepping the engine ready for the new installation onto the new frame as soon as it arrives. So stay tuned guys, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this video. Plus also remember to hit that subscribe button. Cheers. Before I start, I will be turning off the fuel tap, then disconnecting the fuel hose from the filter and then draining any remaining fuel from the tank. It is best to turn the bike round to access other parts of the engine that you can't reach. To take off the drive chain, first you need to take off the joining link. This can be done by using a flathead screwdriver and then a pair of pliers. As soon as the chain has been separated, hold the clutch in using the spring pin. By the clutch being held in, this will allow the chain to come out the enclosure freely. The next step is to take off the chain adjuster. This can be done by using two 13mm spanners. It's now time to take off the chain guard. This can be done by using a 10mm spanner and undoing a 10mm nut and a washer underneath the back of the engine plate. With a sharp pair of scissors, cut off the remaining cable tie that is holding the chain guard onto the bike frame. To remove the clutch cable, it can be done by using a Phillips screwdriver. Plus, also, when you take the cables out, you must remember to put all the springs together, as you don't want to lose these if you're transferring your engine. By putting all of these cables together, it will make life a lot easier when transferring the handlebars over to the next frame. To take off the 60mm air filter, it can be done by using a flathead screwdriver. I will now be removing the CDI box with a sharp pair of scissors, also taking off the high performance HT lead as well. I will be cutting the wires for this CDI box, as I will no longer need it anymore, as I have purchased a new one recently and I will keep it in my spare parts list just in case. To take the throttle cable out of the carburetor, unscrew the top part of the carb, then remove the cable from the needle and jet spring setup. Make sure that you put these back inside the carb in case you might want to use them as a spare. To remove the petrol or gas tank, take an 8mm spanner or socket and remove the 4 8mm nuts, bolts and washers. To undo the back engine mounting bracket, simply take a 10mm spanner and undo the two 10mm nuts. Now to spin the bike around again so as I can access the front U-bolt mounting section. To remove the U-bolt mount, take a 10mm spanner and undo the two 10mm nuts. Now that all the bolts are removed, slide the U-mount off and slip the engine forward and lift out gently. I will be removing the magneto in the polishing process as I don't want to damage any of the wires or any of the components inside. Once the magneto is removed, replace the cover and put back the 4 screws as you don't want to get any dust or dirt into these components. The best way that I've found to clean an engine is to basically degrease it using a little bit of petrol. This will help a lot. By using a toothbrush you can really get into the nasty corners and crevices so as you can clean all the gunk and grease out of this. Now that the engine is out of the bike, what better time to start than upgrading the bolts now? So I will be removing the front 2 bolts with a 10mm spanner. The normal Phillips screwdriver bolts that you get with the kit are okay to start with, but they will loosen over time. So it's best to replace these with Allen key bolts. Also, by using the Phillips screw bolts that come with the kit, you will notice that sometimes when unloosening them and retightening them that you might strip the heads. That's why it's always best to replace these with Allen key bolts as well. To remove the exhaust studs, I will be using a pair of pliers because I will be upgrading to a pair of stainless steel 10mm nuts bolts with washers. To remove the carburetor studs, take a 10mm spanner, remove the 2 nuts and then remove with a pair of pliers. Now that the carburetor manifold studs are removed, replace with 2 10mm nuts and bolts with washers as well.
Take what you want from me, I'll give you everything, all that and more you'll see, just stay right here with me. Love is not fiction, but this time the story's about a king and a queen will pretend to be with paper crowns.
As I will be using a Dremel to clean and polish this engine, it is best to take off the carburetor and exhaust, plus any holes that you see block up with a tissue as you don't want any unnecessary metal filings going into your engine casing. Using the Dremel at a medium speed with a rough sandpaper bit will really help to take off the rough surface on the aluminium casing. When sanding or polishing your casings, make sure that you go in the same straight lines, otherwise you will spend more time trying to sand after.
Out of our fortress with paper crowns.
Using the Dremel and a really small sanding bit, it does help to try and get into all the nooks and crannies, especially along the edge of the casings. By using some abrasive polish and a Dremel polishing bit, it will really help to cut deep into the aluminium casing. By using some watered down soap, also some 1000 grit sandpaper, it's best to go round in circles to get a good polished effect.
What's there left to say? Throw your stones the river.
Finally, by using some metal polish, it will really help to bring out the shine on the engine casings.
I would watch you stare. I would watch you stare. Oh, but there's no one there. We can figure this out. Put your feet.
So there you have it, guys. This is basically how to take out an 80cc engine for your motorised bike, and also how to prep, polish, clean the engine. Also how to upgrade the bolts that it comes with, as it is very, very important. But as you can see, I've still got a long way to go, and it's a very, very messy job. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue now, but I'll catch you on the next video. Stay tuned, and remember, hit that subscribe button, and also remember to share, comment and like. Thanks guys, cheers.